welcome back to Omoshiroi Recap. Today, I will recap Welcome to Demon School, Iruma-kun Season 3. Previously, Iruma and Lead managed to get information about the legendary leaf from a demonic beast. Therefore, they split up to find the pot of ending and seed of beginning. On the other hand, Jazz and Allocer were in the audience tent. Jazz explains that he has withdrawn from the festival because Orobas Trauma magic suddenly hit him. So, Jazz met his hated brother. Feeling annoyed, Jazz immediately kicked him and hit Orobas. Directly attacking a student is an offense, and Jazz is immediately taken to a special tent for students who have withdrawn from the festival. Allocer confirmed that Orobas was aiming for an abnormal class student. Hearing this, Amory was worried about Iruma. On the other hand, Iruma is heading to the seed of beginning. Iruma is shocked when he meets Nafra, who has a bad smell. Allocer advised Iruma to leave him and continue exploring, but Iruma instead helped Nafra by freeing him from the trap. In the end, they together search for the seed of beginning. Arriving at the temple, they saw there was a seed of beginnings. When he wanted to take it, Iruma felt danger and immediately avoided the attack. It turned out that a demon deity was protecting the seed. He was named Thoth. There are two ways to get the seed: defeat him and forcefully seize it. The second told him something interesting. Iruma was confused because Thoth knew all the stories or information about the netherworld. Even so, he doesn't know about the human world, so Iruma wants to tell a romance manga Memories of First Love. Nafra and Allocer helped Iruma convey the story of Memories of First Love to Thoth. After seeing that, he was amazed and felt happy. Therefore, he gave the seed of beginning to Iruma and hoped that Iruma would become the champion of the Harvest Festival. Knowing there is still a sequel to the story, Thoth wants to take it back. But Iruma is in a hurry as there is little time left for the festival. So Thoth asked for Iruma's cell phone number so he could contact him later after the festival. After getting the seed of beginning, Iruma wanted to get out and meet Lead. Nafra uses her smell to drive the demonic beasts away from attacking them, so they can find their way out safely. But suddenly, Iruma was hit by Orobas Trauma magic, and he met his parents. Iruma also wanted to scold them for selling him to the devil for money, but Iruma was scared when asked to return to the human world. Seeing something scary made him fall into the abyss. After casting powerful trauma magic on Iruma, Orobas believed that he would suffer from trauma's illusion. Since Orobas was only after the abnormal class, Nafra was left alone. Nafra also felt sad and waited for Iruma to return to the top. While Iruma is still alive, his leg is injured due to a fall. Then Asmodeus and Clara hate Iruma because he is a human, and even Amory also hates him. So Iruma was scared and tried to run away. Even though Iruma knew it was an illusion, but his body couldn't move. Suddenly Bashiko came, who reminded him that an archer should not be afraid. Then back when Bashiko was training Iruma, Bashiko explains that if someone is in the middle of an absolute threat, the power of focus will increase. Bashiko turns the kin into a demonic monster to train Iruma not to be afraid on the battlefield. After successfully defeating the monster, Bashiko asked him to do it 99 times. Then Iruma fights his fear by launching the strongest attack he has. It turns out that the illusion that Iruma saw was just a small demon beast, and Iruma was happy because he had overcome his fear. Iruma wants to return to his friend's place and proves he will become the Harvest Festival champion. On the third day of the Harvest Festival, the disciples had no more energy to hunt demonic beasts. However, the few students who managed to survive were strong in fighting. Students who rely on something other than strength use cooperation to defeat boss-class monsters. There are also subjugating demonic beasts to gather ingredients. On the other hand, some use the method of seducing students to collect ingredients. Then Caligo announced the students' points. Asmodeus ranked first with 21,800 points and Sabnok 18,600 points. Kurori 19,200 points and Kamui 12,400 1,800 points, Orobas 15,400 points, Elisabetta had 13,200 points and Clara 98 points, Agers 95 points and Goman 95 points. Caligo explains that the one who gets the highest points will get the title of Young Demon King candidate. Caligo also told them that there was a stupid student who had 0 points and whose whereabouts were unknown. Of course, it was Iruma who was underground. Caligo warned him to come back soon if he wanted to win, knowing that Iruma still has 0 points and his whereabouts are unknown. Asmodeus and Clara still believed that Iruma would return, but their bodies were shaking because they were worried about Iruma. While Iruma was trying to climb to the surface, then suddenly Nafra came to meet him. He also tried to bring Iruma to fly, but he couldn't because it was too heavy. Nafra takes out Nigi grass and waters it, so Nigi grass can grow big quickly. But Iruma's leg was injured, and he couldn't climb the Nigi grass. Iruma found another way to rise to the surface. He dripped his blood onto Nigi's grass so it could grow so big that it carried into the sky. Instantly, everyone was surprised to see Iruma's extraordinary appearance. Iruma announced that he had obtained the Seed of Beginning, and asked Lead to gather immediately. After defeating the demon deity in various games, he wins and gets the pot of ending. But a teacher announces that Lead has a pot of ending worth 20,000 points. Knowing that, other students will target Iruma with Lead. Although Lead managed to avoid the other students, he was unlucky to meet Elisabetta. When Lead meets Iruma, Lead explains that Elisabetta has taken the pot of ending. Elisabetta said she didn't like Lead because he was short and weak. Lead was hit by a fatal attack and fainted there. When he woke up, the pot of ending was taken by Elisabetta. Iruma confirmed that it was illusion magic, but they didn't know it was Orobas. So they wanted to meet Elisabetta to confirm that. Lead immediately uses his powers of control to find Elisabetta's whereabouts. Unexpectedly, Elisabetta, Clara, and Kurori were in the bath. When Kurori wanted to discuss working with them, she suddenly felt bad. So, Lead's controlling power is cut off, but he already knows Elisabetta's location, so they immediately headed there. Meanwhile, Kurori wants Elisabetta and Clara to seduce the enemy to get points. Of course, the results will be divided equally. Kurori's goal is to take Agers' castle. She immediately declared war on Agers, along with the others. Still, they didn't give up and fought the demon beasts attacking their castle together. Kamui, also not to be outdone, raised the demon beasts' fighting spirit with words and made the monsters stronger, but Goman quickly stopped them using a new secret move. The girls become fascinated by Goman's strength, while Kamui becomes angry when he sees Goman making out with the girls. Kamui immediately sends an army of boss-class demon beasts to destroy the castle, but Goman doesn't want to lose either. Meanwhile, Iruma and Lead were surprised to see the battle. On the other hand, Orobas had handed the pot of ending over to a teacher for points, and felt that he had won, even though the harvest festival had not yet ended. Meanwhile, the battle between the Kurori kingdom and Agers' castle was fierce. The demonic beasts tried to destroy the castle walls, but the castle made of Agers' magic was too strong. Then someone reported that 6 troops in the east had been defeated. It turns out that Elisabetta had manipulated the men with her abilities. As a result, the number of Agers' troops decreased. When Elisabetta took the men to the prison, Lead and Iruma approached her. After discovering that Elisabetta wasn't the one who took the pot of ending, they confirmed that the thief was an illusion magic user. Nafra tries to tell them about the culprit, but they need help understanding the message Nafra conveys. Fortunately, Kamui understood that and confirmed that the culprit was Orobas, and used illusion magic to attack the abnormal class. Previously, Orobas always got second place in school, Because the one who always gets first place is the abnormal class, Orobas feels jealous of them. Even so, he was an honest and fair person to reach rank 1. But he was manipulated by someone named Acho, so Orobas attacked the students of class abnormal according to Acho's orders. On the other hand, knowing that Clara was alone in the forest, Lead immediately looked for her with his controlling powers. Since Clara is near Orobas, they use Kurori's demonic beast to save her. Orobas seeing Clara alone in the forest, Orobas immediately cast trauma magic on her.
アズくんもみんな思ってるよ。迷惑だなーって。クララの能力はさ、便利なんだから。
Clara was scared and cried because Iruma said mean things and didn't want to be friends. Meanwhile, Iruma and Lead reach a high place and see Clara wants to be attacked by monsters. Iruma immediately used the remaining arrows to defeat the monster from a distance. Ultimately, Iruma managed to save her and calm a sad Clara. Meanwhile, Orobas became angry and wanted to traumatize them forever. Asmodeus doesn't care if he should be disqualified from the Harvest Festival, because his ambition is to become a spear for Iruma. He also warns Orobas that if he attacks an abnormal class again, Asmodeus will decapitate him. After that, Iruma and Clara didn't want Asmodeus to leave. Asmodeus explained that he didn't regret what he had done because he was already at the Daleth rank, and believed only Iruma was fit to be the viceroy. After Asmodeus went to the audience tent, Lead met them there. He also wanted to take the pot of ending from the Orobas, but Orobas had been taken away by Acho. As Orobas is seriously injured and unable to collect points, Acho gives him the rare ingredients he has collected. Acho did that so Iruma couldn't win at the Harvest Festival. On the other hand, a teacher comes to meet Iruma while carrying the pot of ending. It turns out he is Allocer. Previously, Allocer and Jazz collected information about Orobas from other students, and make a strategy to get revenge on Orobas. Jazz is in charge of monitoring the movement of Orobas from the tent of students who have retreated, so Allocer prepares to take the pot from him, when Orobas wants to hand over the pot of ending to the reporting tower. After that, Allocer told Asmodeus that Orobas was targeting Iruma, so that Asmodeus could protect them.
自分が優位だと思っているやつほど騙される。最後に勝つのはずる賢いやつさ。
Then Allocer handed the pot of ending over to Iruma and Lead. He entrusted the class of normal victory to them. The Harvest Festival is about to end. Allocer's final points are 12,800, while Sabnok's are 45,500 points. On the other hand, demonic animals present themselves as points for Queen Kurori's victory. But Kurori refused it, so that the final point is 36,800 points, Kamui 22,500 points, Elizabetta 20,700 points. On the other hand, Agars and Gomen received food from his troops, because they wanted to thank Agars and Gomen for allowing them to stay in the castle. Agars' final points with Gomen were 32,300 points. Iruma and Lead combine the seed of beginning into the pot of ending, but nothing happens. Lead remembered the first lesson from Susie's teacher about how to grow flowers with magic. Nafra also watered the seed and asked them to cast magic while the seed glowed. However, their magic energy was not enough. Even Alacrid also ran out of magic because Clara sucked him before. Because Clara has a lot of magic energy, Iruma borrows her magic power to grow the legendary leaf. When doing that, suddenly, the Demon King Delcura meets Iruma, but after that, he immediately disappears. Even though the legendary leaf was successfully grown, they felt doubtful because the flower's face looked ridiculous. On the other hand, the abnormal class students are waiting for the arrival of their leader, who carries the legendary leaf. Iruma and Lead appear cool while carrying the legendary leaf, but they are all silent and have doubts about the flower. The teachers confirmed that it was a real legendary leaf worth 100,000 points. After that, the announcement of the winners of the Harvest Festival. Unexpectedly, Orobas was ranked first with 58,000 points because he had gathered rare foodstuffs, while Iruma with lead only 50,000 points. Even though Orobas won, he felt uneasy because he had won in such an evil way. Then suddenly, the Jazz objected to the point tally. Jazz explains that the pot of ending is 20,000 points, so after recalculating, Iruma's total points with lead is 60,000 points. In the end, they won the Harvest Festival.
6万ポイントでイルマ&リード逆転優勝
Despite losing, Orobas felt relieved and respected class abnormal prowess. Because of that, he apologized to Iruma along with the others. They also forgave him and praised Orobas' trauma magic as very strong. Not only that, but the other students were also amazed by the greatness of Orobas, so the Harvest Festival ended happily. Nafra was one of the conditions for growing the legendary leaf. Participants must help him get a rainbow sprinkler to water the legendary leaf. Not only that, the flower can speak. He also explained that they had passed various tests to grow the legendary leaf. The exam aimed to find devils who weren't like devils. Of course, that person will become the next demon lord. And that is the end of the video. Remember to subscribe and like this video, so see you in the next video.